Where the Wilderness Is, Chapter 3. On the way home, we passed lots of different moored boats, some with pristine, shiny paintwork and names like Seren or Kingfisher, others with chipped paint and piles of stuff on the roofs buried under tarpaulins. We passed Narrow Escape, Mudlark, Puddle Duck, and the Unsinkable too. In summer, we move up and down the canal, but in winter we have a permanent mooring and stay mainly in one spot between the town and the village. It's still remote, but closer to drinking water and a place to empty the toilet tank and things like that. There isn't enough daylight in winter to move the boat after Mum gets home from work. At this time of year, there's a lot of space between the boats, whereas in summer, we always have someone moored right next to us. After about 10 minutes, our boat Newt comes into view. A wood and glass cockpit encloses the very back of the boat, where the tiller and our main entrance is. Her name is written in dark green and black lettering on the side. Solar panels cover 1/3 of the roof. The outer edges are lined with plant pots, benches that we made from wooden crates, and bags of solid fuel for the burner. Sometimes people ask if I wish I'd had a garden, but I know that the whole countryside is my garden. We hose Willow down on the towpath and dry her off with towels, each rubbing a leg. She stands patiently waiting, sometimes licking Aria's hair with her long tongue. Next, we clean the safe. Under the mud, it's covered in dark red rust that flakes off under my fingertips. Inside, our boat's layout goes like this: cockpit, entrance, galley kitchen, table, sitting room, bathroom at the side, then all the bedrooms at the back. My bedroom is more of a nook than a room, but I like it because it's cosy. Photographs of Mum and Dad and my siblings cover the walls, and curtains separate it from the rest of the boat. There are all sorts of special modifications that we have to make a living on the boat easier. We have a tiny television that fits in a cupboard when we're not using it. The twins have bunk beds to save space. One of the coolest things is that the kitchen cooker is on gimbals, which allows the cooker to swing. So even if the boat rocks, the saucepans stay upright and won't spill. At the moment, the kitchen shelves are filled with homemade rosehip and blackberry and apple jam and hazelnut butter. This is my favourite time of year because we get to forage for the food that grows on the hedgerows. Every time I walk Willow, I take a bowl for picking berries, always making sure I leave lots for the animals to eat too. I step into the bathroom. On the windowsill is a big glass jar. I've been trying to grow a velvety blanket of wood moss in it. Aria wants to turn it into a fairy garden when I'm finished. So far, there's only a tiny patch on a rock, but I'm confident it will grow eventually. My stomach rumbles, and I remember I hardly ate any lunch today. I hated sitting by myself so much. I wasn't hungry. Wonder where Jasmine was. After I changed out of my wet clothes, I text Jasmine and ask if she wants to sleep over tomorrow after bonfire night. Last year we went together, and then she came back to the boat. We hid under the covers with hot chocolate and told ghost stories until Mum came in to tell us to be quiet. We were both so scared we screamed. A few minutes later, a reply flashes on my screen. Sorry, going with my dad this year. I sigh. Cara, shouts Bryn, come quickly. The canal is on the telly. I slide off the bed and run out to the living room. Everyone is gathered around the television, clustered on rugs, floor cushions and leather poofs. Aria is sitting close to the telly, almost right in front of us, and Mum asks her to move back, patting the cushion beside her. It's the evening news. The camera pans along the canal, lingering on the dripping shopping trolleys. The newsreader we met today is talking. After a boat got stuck in the debris sitting in the bottom of the Canal Trust decided to drain the canal for the first time in 20 years to remove the rubbish, says the interviewer on the TV as she strolls along the towpath. I talked to some local children about what they were able to remove from the canal. Our faces appear on the TV and everyone squeals and whoops! Look, we're famous, says Aria as she pouts and walks up and down posing. I always knew I'd be famous. I'm trying to listen, says Bryn. These are windlasses, Aria is saying on the screen. They're useful for opening the locks. But most of the stuff in the canal is rubbish, says Bryn, like this shoe. I'm relieved that with Aria and Bryn explaining and Enzo displaying the findings you hardly notice, I'm there, standing quietly behind them. The interviewer turns back to the camera and we disappear from the shot. What a pleasure to see the community here coming together to clean up this area, she says. Together they'll work together to make a safer place for wildlife, fish, boaters, and people enjoying the beauty of the canal. She smiles, and then the news moves on to the next thing. After dinner, Enzo stacks logs in the wood burner and sparks fly up the flue pipe to the chimney. It'll be nice and warm soon, he says. We have a metal fan that sits on top of the burner and spins when the heat rises, circulating the hot air around the whole boat. The fire roars, and soon it's toasty inside. Mom reads a story curled up on the sofa with Aria and Bryn. She's finally convinced Bryn to put down the safe. Her sing-song voice crescendos as she reaches the end of the chapter. Tomorrow, I'll try and find a way to open the safe. You never know, I might get lucky and guess the code straight away. I sit cross-legged on the rug opposite from Enzo, playing backgammon and listening. Outside, a fox barks. I smile. Autumn evenings are my favourite. The only thing that could make it better is if Dad was here too.